We can just sit here and giggle for the next 10-15 minutes. How are you feeling about this?
I'm good. I'm excellent. Thank you. And by the way, here we are at Moonbird in Chambly. Props to Casey at Moonbird for allowing
Casey,
us
absolutely. She's watching us right now and then checking the customer on and see what this whole thing about. But hey guys, welcome back to this week's Coffee with Kyan into our second season. You may know or not know this lady. She's been on a special appearance in the past on one of our forum series. Shall we introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Rachel Lane. I am a Cerner specialist at IT Works, and I have just completed my 4th month.
Woo! Hey, happy anniversary on our 4th month.
Well, thank you, Kyan.
Yeah. We went through a lot together the past, probably beyond 4th month.
Well, yes, the entire first month it was you and me. The first month.
And Hillary, but who cares, right? She's probably watching this and then commenting in the bottom. But
she's gonna be mad that we're at Moonbird without her. That's for sure. Cool.
She's actually the one who got us hooked on Moonbird.
She is.
Yeah.
You have that credit, definitely.
We'll pick another episode to talk about possibly Casey and Moonbird. I'm giving her eye contact. But this is coming to this Make It Happen series. Rachel and I, we spoke for quite a long period, I think, prior to coming to working
True.
together.
Yes.
So, what has your experience been like for the past? Well, since you and I know each other.
To be cliche, I suppose drinking from a fire hose would be the best way to put it. But I suppose I would rather have all of that information going into it, and then if I need to revisit something or circle back around, and kind of have that repetitious learning instead of just hearing it once, I think it's really good because then you can reference, well, remember in week 2 when we talked about this? And I can be like, we talked about it, I know, but remind me, please. Remind me, please. But it's good to have all that info going in. You think that it's almost too much at first because you're not doing the actual job. You're in training and you're role playing and you're going through these motions, but then once you're to the point where you're really doing it, you realize where all the pieces start coming into play in that regard. So an experience, of the 30 steps of, recruitment, you come to the one step and you're like, I did talk about this, and this is what Kyan and Mike Walmsley and all those things.
This is actually really happening.
Yes, it's real and it's happening, and you can insert those role plays into real life and then become pleasantly surprised that people cooperate with those things that you're using those best practices for. But it's been a lot. I think that it's starting to get to the place where I come to different places in the cycle. I'm not just stuck at the beginning like I was. Things are moving, things are happening, and I can really see the flow and where it's going and what it's going to become and what's going to be easier about it that, maybe I can drink from the water fountain and instead of the fire.
Let's go and taste that. Now you got to flow, experience it through once, twice, and repeatedly, and then obviously that we work in an industry that's about human beings versus selling a product that have a spec and so on. Mm-hmm. And then the emotional aspect of things, working with different personality, that's always interesting.
Definitely. We have a nice variety of personalities.
Especially day in and day out, we talk to many different type of clients and candidates alike, and which want to be very appreciative of what you have brought on to us and make us being better at what we do. We strive to be the expert in our market, to be the best at doing what we do. On that specific note, I want to piggyback on one specific element because you and I are very similar in age, and then but we came from a little different side of the sales environment in the past. And then can we talk a little bit more about, because with your long tenure with your prior employer / industry, you came in with a very solid and proven sales result oriented background too. What was the similarity that you have found, and also the things that you have found that, I thought that was it, but it wasn't? This is a big question.
That's a big question. I did come from 10 years in business development of luxury automotive. So it was still, reaching out to people that they need the product, but they might not necessarily realize that they need my product yet until I help them to understand it. And, again, putting it on that human being level, with automotive, of course, you want a car, great, come buy a car, but you might think you know what you want. But then if we can have a real conversation and understand you as a person, what you need in your life, how your day goes, I'm going to be able to guide you towards the right thing. And it kind of comes this way too in recruitment, is a lot of times candidates and clients, they think they know what they want. They have that cookie cutter idea. They have those resume pieces. They want to live here. This is the salary, and that's what it is. But having a human conversation and actually caring what happens to them over the next few years, because a lot of time there's relocation, there's all kinds of things involved, really understanding them on a personal level, understanding why they need that specific salary. Everyone wants more money, but there might be a good reason that one number is acceptable over another number. Or, maybe they hadn't thought about relocating, but then all of a sudden once you talk to them and realize that they have extended family in another state that they rarely get to see and really love, well, and then you have an opportunity in that area, they can have a little eye-opening.
Or let alone that, hey, you want to grow your career, you're going to have to relocate.
Definitely. Sometimes that's what it takes, and it can be scary, to start something new. Just like in automotive, it's scared to drop $50,000+, on a car on a whim. You want to know that you're making that right decision. So I feel like that's a good translation of the two, is people think they know what they want, but sometimes conversation can make you realize things that were right all along, but you never had the chance to think.
Helping the customer understanding what they truly want. And sometimes it's a perception that you have to go back and revisit. I know you want an SUV, but your budget may not allow you to afford an SUV. So can we look at a crossover? Well, maybe not look at the newest model, maybe look at a pre-owned, so on and so forth. What are the things that were a little different than what you expected about what recruitment, now as you're being through it?
Goodness, what did I not expect? I didn't expect it to be so difficult in the sense of all the moving pieces that are a part of it. You think, okay, this person has the skills, they'd love to live in this place. Isn't that the end?
Yeah.
But it's not. It's not the end, and you really do have to understand more and ask more questions and anticipate what's gonna come, because the unknown definitely bites you. The one question you didn't ask that maybe you asked everyone else, but you didn't think to ask this person becomes the most relevant one.
Yeah.
That would have saved you potentially weeks or more of
or relationship burn with either the candidate or client, that I thought I told you I need so and so.
Very true. Yeah. So that I didn't. You set me up to expect a lot of it for what it's worth, but then actually having the reality of it and realizing this wasn't just a training piece; it's real. And it makes an impact. Having a candidate have an interview, and then when it's time for the second one, magically back out. There was probably a good reason that if I had asked the right questions, I would have understood and been better prepared, and maybe even stopped it from happening by being able to have a conversation. So
since we're not mentioning names or that specific individual, what do you think that by channeling what you know about the person, knowing about the local art scenario, what do you think that specific scenario that have happened with the person? It's an MIA situation, right?
She was willing to speak to me. They did speak to me after the fact, so they didn't completely disappear. So thank you if you know who you are. Thanks for not disappearing and at least communicating with me that, by the way,
happen.
And it's helpful, and we won't yell at you. I promise. If you say thank you but no thank you, just tell me now. just tell me now. But
yeah, we appreciate that direct, open, and honest communication. It does go both ways as well, especially working in a niche market.
definitely. But if I had explored certain factors in a deeper level about his life and what his trajectory was for like the 2 to 5 year plan and things like that, I probably didn't. Probably focused too much on the present and the current, and it taught me a lesson to try to focus a little more on the future and their future goals, and having them be human beings that do have lives and they do have futures and they need to know and to make some sort of snap decision. You can't and you shouldn't. And so I'm definitely telling people I speak to, even when they come with enthusiasm of, I want it, it sounds perfect, that's me, I've always dreamed of moving here. No, you will sleep on it. You'll sleep on it whether you want to sleep on it or not. I'm not going to skip over you because you're sleeping on it, but I need it. I only want to send people who are really committed. We're not testing the waters here, we're committing and throwing ourselves in.
Exactly. So tell us a little bit about your emotional journey. Let's put it out there first, because it wasn't really Rainbows and Sunshine. I know you heard me say this a lot, everybody, and you heard me saying that literally a lot. And then there are a lot of moments be like, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the wrong thing? Why does this happen?
For a lot of it, I really tried to take an effort to keep a lot of emotion out of it. It's not possible to keep all emotion out of it, but I really tried to an extent, because I knew I was prepped accordingly that there would be hardships. I was even told, guaranteed actually, that there would be tears.
And in writing. In
writing. There haven't been any yet, by the way. 4 months, no tears, but plenty of rejections. So
Market, this may change.
It's going to change. It's not going to be rejections. And if there are tears, my goal is for them to be happy tears. But the point is it can be hard. And putting in hours and hours and hours of work and not feeling like you have something to show for it, it can be rough. But then if you really look back, you do have stuff to show for it. You have the experience you've gained. You know how to do it better. The mistakes I made with that candidate, I won't make again. I won't, because I know I've been burned. I think that was in writing too, that my hand would be burned. And that did happen.
I'm doing such a good job scaring people away.
But it's the right thing to do though, Kyan. You almost have to scare people away to make sure that they're ready. You don't want to set we talk about with the candidates and clients, we don't want to set false expectations. Yeah. We want to be transparent, deliver the bad with the good so that you can take it into consideration and not just make this snap decision of, ooh, salary, ooh, Miami, you think the rest through logistically.
What it's going to take for you to be in Miami, so on and so forth.
Yes, and have you really been there, or did you just see it in the movies? Things like that. Or what if there was something in Omaha, Nebraska, and you have this preconceived notion, but really it's a wonderful place to be, and finding someone. But, going back to the emotion, it's a little bit of a roller coaster. You hit those, valleys where you wonder if this is really ever going to happen, if the deal's ever going to come through, or if you're just going to keep talking to people it's just not the right fit, whether it's on the personal level or an experience level. But, you get that high when something does work, and, you feel like through all those, I can't even call them failures, but rejections, I suppose, that you've been through, it helps make up for it with that happy moment. It's like you can go to a restaurant and have the worst experience, and you're already thinking, this person is not getting a tip, this was horrible, I'm never coming back. But then they come over and they just say to you, I'm so sorry, like this was the scenario, you shouldn't have suffered for it, it was me. And then they maybe give you a coupon
just
for next time.
One moment.
The one moment almost makes you forget that entire 2 hours of mediocre to poor experience. So just ending on that high note really helps make up for the hard stuff.
Absolutely. Without seeing the lows or experience the lows, you won't know what the high is, let alone know what it feels like specifically. Because you have a very bubbly personality, extremely likable, and you have the level of maturity as well to manage to. I think that also obviously that came from a sales environment. You've seen through enough within your repertoire to know how to deal with certain things over time. How do you manage those, in your definition, the low moments?
I mean, I try. I don't want to say I brush them off because I want to get something out of them. I don't know. I guess.
What was your mind to keep you going?
This isn't, I guess, super insightful, but I try to have a combination of a positive outlook, a realistic outlook, and seeing things from both sides. So, if someone is unpleasant to me for some reason, like not even candidate, client, but just in life, if someone's unpleasant to me, I don't want to automatically assume that they're mean jerks. I don't know. Something could have happened in their family. They could be having a bad day. They could have lost their job. Anything could have happened. And just to, not judge people really kind of helps me deal with the different personality types. Just because someone might be, rough with me on the phone doesn't mean they're a bad person, much less can't do the job. There's plenty of not nice people who can do the job, but just really being able to understand them in that regards. I know coming in, I was advised to dial down the fluff and the bubble a little bit. Coming from customer service, it's a second nature.
Always build everything that I'm here, but now coming down to earth.
Right. Everyone's in your mind when you're in customer service, like customer service, not this kind of customer service.
Excellence.
It's you are always inferior to the customer. That customer is always right, even when they're wrong, they're right.
But they gotta make sure they walk away from a great experience.
Exactly. And
they translate into ratings, translate into reviews, and please you can go on Yelp.
And I would want candidates and clients to have great experiences too, but I can't sugarcoat things for them to have a great experience. It needs to be a great experience that's genuine and real, and not just making it sound delicious.
It really almost pushes us to even grow up further as well, how to deliver news to, not looking at the parent versus child analogy, how to deliver something that's just very down-to-earth reality to somebody so this is what we need to consider. This is about 79% close to what we can accomplish versus 100%. I don't want to sugarcoat all those things for you. Let's talk about the 79% and evaluate what does this 21% really looks like, or what do they really mean. First thing, they do require to be on site, 8:30 to 5:30, so on and so forth. But the details of how do we manage a conversation with our candidates and clients. At the end of the day, it's all customers.
Yeah. It's still customers with the right customer service. It's just a different approach. It's just
what keeps you going through those little moments? Because I think a lot of us will want to know too. Either you're in your recruitment, which a lot of us are watching it, mostly our recruitment professionals, to your core customer group, the Cerner professionals, either clients or candidates. Everybody go through low moments. Implementation not going well. This day just sucks, or this quarter is just horrible, or I don't like my organization, but there's no way out, so on and so forth. What's pushing you behind you, besides the positive outcome that you talked about? Also have a deeper understanding about so on and so forth. What's keeping you going to come back the next day, to go at it again next week?
I think actually the biggest part is my support team. Of course, I have great support at home with a husband who's going to be proud of me even if I fail. But actually at
unconditional
IT,
love.
Yes, it's unconditional. But at IT Works, I have my own cheerleading squad as well, and things, they do get hard, and you sometimes, like I said, wonder, is this going to work? Is it ever, after all this time, going to come to anything? And will I get the rhythm? Will it keep going, or will it continue to be low, 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 one high, low, low, low? And having the support team, I will shout out directly. So, Kyan, he's in there. And then We've got Christina. She started as my mentor. We've now gone into split model, and she's on the sales side, but she still is a great cheerleader and support. I have Virginia by my side, and she has almost kind of picked up that mentor role in a little bit of a way, always happy to help with like the little questions you don't want to bother certain people with because it's little, or you think it's little.
But you need it before you can move forward.
But you need it, and so she's really helpful. The Epic team sits with us, and they're really supportive. I know that they're another team, but Sheldon and Stephanie are always encouraging and happy when I have successes. And then, of course, Hillary. Everyone knows that Hillary, is a motivator. But thank you, Hillary, for texting me in the night and telling me I can do it and that it'll be good. So, and I mean, there's more. Don't feel left out if I didn't say your name, but, Jared. Sorry, Jared. Jared, I love you. Thank you for FaceTiming me from Hawaii. And, but the point is I probably couldn't do it myself. I probably would struggle to rebound from certain lows if it wasn't for kind of that family, I'll call it family, but that family support that's saying, you've got this, keep it up, you're going to have the lows before the highs, you've got this, and I have no doubt that you've got this. And so having that kind of support from so many people and the whole team, I think is the main thing that keeps me, from giving up when there are long periods of struggle.
That camaraderie doesn't come, forcefully, or hey, you need to make sure you text Rachel to make sure that she's loved.
Did they tell you to text me, Hillary? I know they told you.
I think that's the general. Everything comes very natural that we do care about each other.
Yes.
Because it's a hard thing that we can talk about inventory as a selling a product, but in this it's all about people, human beings. So and to get through those, it's a hardship. What would you tell somebody that maybe dialed the clock backwards, that was in your shoes 6 months ago, about is this for me? Because we have actually several who are in the pipeline right now ready to come on board. What words of advice would you have for them?
I would say, be prepared for a ramp-up period. Definitely. Things aren't going to happen instantly the way you probably want them to. And it's a different sense of accomplishment because you don't get that reward on a daily basis. You don't get that reward on a daily basis. So you just have to know that through that difficulty and through the hard times of ramping up, it will pick up speed. It will get better. If Gary tells you you can do it and brings you on, then there's a reason. He's not bringing on anyone and everyone. He has to see something. And so if he sees it, you've got it. You just have to get through that ramp up. I think the average is, approximately 5 months for people getting their first deal. I mean, it varies, I know, but on average. And so I had to be reminded of that many times because, I'm in month 2 and I feel like something should be happening. Yeah. Something should be happening, but in reality, in month 2, I'm only a few weeks out of training.
And that's a natural sales mentality that you want to see the fruits of your labor.
You do. You want to see
the gratification of close something.
Actually, it's interesting to say because I have that conversation with contractors in relation to perm where they really want to, be able to. I just lost my train of thought. You gotta edit this part out. What was I just talking about?
Yeah, we talk about the fruits of the labors as well, specifically of seeing things happening right away. Because our intent is go for the hunt, right? Mm-hmm. And then to make things happen. And that's what the whole make it happen mentality is about behind the scene. But there's so many factors in there. I'm actually shocked you're able to carry through the conversation thoroughly as well because talking about candidate, talking about client, there's so many variables. I mean, talk about how thorough we are with our note taking throughout one conversation.
Right.
So yeah, talking about those, try to get from A to
Well, I'll tell you what I was going to try to say is that the people who do the go lives and things like that, y'all don't get to see it to the end. You don't get to see the fruits of your labor. You come in, you do the work, and you leave, and someone else gets to benefit from the fruit of your labor. And so they'll tell me a lot of times that that's their motivation to want something permanent, is that they want to see it. They want to see what they worked so hard for, and you'll have a chance to see it doing the recruitment. It's just going to be a little delayed, and as long as your boss is okay with that, it should be okay with you too. You know?
Let's talk about the most recent deal that you had. That happened pretty much within 24 hours.
Yes.
Goodness. What was that experience like?
It was really cool. It was really cool to see something happen so fast. I've been a little bit more focused in the permanent arena of things, and so I got this contract opportunity, which is a much faster paced thing. It's a do not go home until this is accomplished. You can go home if you haven't placed the perm person, but that contract you better stay, because otherwise the next person is going to get it. But it was quite a whirlwind to go from understanding what was needed, create the marketing campaign and the resourcing plan, and then to get the feedback, talk to the people, know when you've talked to the superstar. Then get your other stars. You got other stars too with the superstar, and you just have to know with confidence that that is the right person putting them forward, because you'll probably have more options of people that are interested in those contracts and you get to pick. So, finding that right person felt really good, to be able to find her so quickly, to get her what she was looking for, not only in the opportunity, but in the compensation as well. And she actually had worked with some people at the hospital in the past, and even at a different hospital, and it just really came together.
It's all about relationships. It comes in full circle.
It did, and it turned out to be such the perfect candidate, and with that history that they said, we don't even have to interview her. You're right, that's the right person, and that's what we want. And now they remember that I was right in less than 24 hours, so now we have future opportunities because they know we can make it happen.
So you really proven that you're an expert in the market, and you made it happen.
Yes.
So
that's right.
If anybody want to get a hold with you, hold of you, how should they contact you?
I would love it if you called me directly. If it is business hours, call me at ITWorks at 678-291-0081 and ask for Rachel Lane. You can also find me on LinkedIn, Rachel Lane. I do post for great opportunities, and I have a super cute dog that I tend to post with it to get your attention.
Multiple times a week. It's super adorable.
I try to get fresh ones of him. He's so sweet. And you can email me, of course, at rachel.lane@itworksrec.com. And gosh, yeah, those are the best ways. To reach me. Thank you, Kyan.
And then obviously ending the Valentine on a super high note with your most recent deal. Congratulations to that, and many more to come.
Thank you, Kyan. Here's to more to come.
So guys, we'll see you next week. Any question you have, know how to contact Rachel, and we'll also love to hear your feedback as well directly in the comment section, and see you on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. We'll see you next week, guys.
Great to
Thank
meet
you.
Bye.